Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. I'm your host, Jamie Meloni, a local real estate agent with Coldwell Banker here in the Tampa, Florida area, selling real estate for over 10 years now. Just came up on my 10th anniversary on April 23rd at Coldwell Banker, and I was in real estate a year before that, bouncing around between a couple of offices before I began to find my way and find my vision at Coldwell Banker, where I came to specialize in the sale of bank-owned homes and listing properties. And so a lot of good information comes out on this program every Thursday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, made available on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. We have a Facebook page just for the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show. Just go to facebook.com/Tampa Bay REO, which is the old name of my website. Facebook doesn't allow me to update that, but it's the Jamie Meloni Real Estate page where we put real estate related topics and the real estate shows on there. That is different from That Business Show's fan page on Facebook, and our core page being thatbusinessnetwork.com. So on today's program, I want to talk about what you need to know when you list a home with a real estate agent, what questions you should ask, what scams you should be aware of out there, what you need to know to maximize the value of what is probably your greatest investment. Most people buy a home, and the majority of their wealth and their money is sitting in that asset. For others, maybe not, but for the majority of people, real estate is the linchpin of the wealth building process. So I want to start talking about some things that some realtors do. There's a scam out there. I hate when I see it, but it's done commonly by RE/MAX agents, and it's the guaranteed sale program. Don't fall for that program, please. It's a bait and switch technique. You probably have seen it somewhere in a marketplace. So there's always some agent that utilizes it. It's a great lead generator. It really does capture business, and there are realtors that swear by the program, but in all honesty, it's a deceptive marketing technique that baits and switches you. And so first off, they guarantee the sale of your home within 20 days or 30 days or whatever the case may be. First off, no realtor can guarantee the sale of your home unless they underprice the home. And so the way that the guaranteed sale program works is they come to you with a listing agreement and says, all right, we have a couple of different options. We call it about the guaranteed sale, and here's how this works. They offer it at some high commission because they're taking a risk if they have to assume the home. So they're going to say 10, 11, 12% commission, and they're going to price the home at what they want to price it. So of course they're not going to price it at fair market value, because fair market value could take more than 30 days to sell. And they're definitely not going to price it at probably what you want to price the home at, because most home sellers want to overprice their home, and the home is going to sit there if the home is overpriced. Every home will sell at a certain price. There is a strike point for a home that will cause immediate and quick sale, but it's generally below fair market value. To get fair market value, you need at least a couple of weeks on the marketplace. To get that quick sale multiple offer situation, you're going to price it at least 10% low to get the buyer pool to react in droves. And there is also pricing theories that I've talked about on the program about underpricing and using multiple offers to bid up the price. That's a pricing strategy that works in some cases, not all cases though, so you shouldn't come to rely on that. But banks do that pricing scheme a lot of times. But the realtors who market the guaranteed sale program are going to underprice the home probably 20 to 25% to definitely guarantee a sale, to make sure that they don't acquire the property and have to sell that home. And so you as a homeowner looking at the option, you're seeing 10, 11%, realtor prices a home. Who's going to accept that offer? Nobody is going to accept that offer. And that's really what the listing agent who is sitting in your living room trying to explain the program to you wants you to do, because now they're in your living room. Now they've got you, ready to sign something. And you say, well, you know what, we've got an alternative to that. We've got this other program here, standard commission of X, you set the price of the home, we'll market it using traditional methods. And at that point you say, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. And things always sound pretty good after you've been exposed to something outrageous, and really you're just being exposed to what the normal market is doing. And in our market, it's common for a 6% commission that is split between the listing and the selling agent at 3% per side, although that is negotiable and is a talking point that you should raise with your listing agent to ensure that they are equally splitting the commission between themselves and a cooperating agent who is going to most likely bring the buyer. It's very uncommon for the listing agent to represent both sides of the transaction, although it is legal in our state because realtors work as transaction brokers. Other states where dual agency is defined, or where there is dual agency defined in every state, but the duty of loyalty it's illegal to represent both sides of a transaction. So because you owe the duty of loyalty to both sides, it's impossible to be loyal to two opposing sides. A realtor that is a transaction broker is there to effect a transaction. They don't owe you, the listing, the owner of the home, or the buyer, any sense of loyalty. They're not even supposed to tell you if the other side is willing to pay more or less for the home, and likewise if you're listing a home, if the seller is willing to take less for a particular home. They're supposed to remain neutral and without the duty of loyalty in a transaction broker role relationship, which is the state defined standard for real estate agents in Florida. Before 2008, that was a required disclosure to give to all consumers when you're represented by a realtor. Now there is no disclosure that is given, and consumers are expected to know that real estate agents are acting in the role of a transaction broker. They are not single agents or have the duty of loyalty. You can ask the realtor to represent you if you're a buyer or a seller in a single agent role, which gives the duty of loyalty. But the problem with that is if you're in a brokerage with multiple agents, the listing agreement or the buyer's agreement is with the broker of record, not the individual agents. And they have multiple agents, and then another agent within the office brings a buyer to a listing that another agent in that office has. It's technically the listing or the broker of record acting in a dual agency role if one of them is in a single agent relationship. So some agents will present buyers with a single agency disclosure and then transition to transaction broker when they go to make an offer on a home. That's a technique that Keller Williams likes to use. I don't really fully understand it. I guess they want you to know that you have their back or something by saying we have the duty of loyalty up until the time that we make the offer on the home, at which point we're going to consent or we're going to transition to a transaction broker role, whatever the case may be. Nonetheless, realtors in the state of Florida are acting in a transaction broker capacity, no duty of loyalty, and they are there to get a transaction done. But coming back to what I was saying about the guaranteed sale program, again, it's a deceptive marketing technique to get you to call the real estate agent, get them into your living room or into your office with a listing agreement so they can present you with some god-awful marketing plan that is not going to make sense and is a complete loss for you as a consumer. There's nobody that even ever takes that offer. I think I heard a realtor say less than 1% of the people that he's ever presented that offer to takes that, and then that's in many years of being a top producing real estate agent. It doesn't make sense to take an offer like that and then being switched with the standard offer of 6%. You price the home and we market it for 6 months, which is a typical listing agreement. So stay away from that stuff. There are typically top producing agents that use that program because I admit it is a good lead generator. It does get people to call because what do they know that all these other tens of thousands of real estate agents don't know? But the fact of the matter is that the tens of other thousands of other real estate agents out there are just not going to use the deceptive bait and switch technique of the guaranteed sale program. So please don't call a real estate agent for that. Call a listing agent such as myself, who's going to present you with a traditional plan that's going to get you exposure to the broad market through a major brand such as Coldwell Banker. A key to picking a good listing agent is going with a solid brand that has large national exposure, because if you go with a local brokerage that is just a small mom and pop, they're not going to have the reach and the influence to reach buyers in other states. And then internationally, if you get up into the $1 million mark, which is very important that you have overseas reach. But brands like Coldwell Banker, brands like Keller Williams, Remax, the traditional marketing techniques, they have the brands and the ability to reach large numbers of people. Coldwell Banker, as soon as you list with us, puts the home on the multiple listing service and immediately goes out to over 500 different websites, including print advertising, which Coldwell Banker is still utilizing. Yes, a lot of the buyers, source their homes through an online search, but so many buyers today are still finding their homes really just through traditional methods of having a sign up in the front yard. So you just want to make sure that you're getting your home exposed to as many people on the marketplace as possible, and all the major national brands that are household names are going to do that for you. And if you're in Tampa Bay, I'd love to represent you in the sale of your property, and so you can get in touch with me and get a free home valuation by simply visiting thathomevaluation.com. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the country, I can help you through our relocation and referral network. Again, simply go to thathomevaluation.com, put in your home's address, and I'll connect you with an agent in the community if you're outside of the Tampa Bay region. If you're in Tampa Bay, I'd love to work with you. Again, 10 years in real estate, over 1,600 homes sold, and I definitely have an expert market knowledge of what's going on here in the Tampa Bay marketplace as a result of all of the sales and all of the real estate shows that I've done. I've hosted over 100 different real estate shows, not to mention all of the different real estate related topics that have come up on that business show. So if you want an educated and knowledgeable real estate professional, I am your person. Learn more about me also at my website, jamiemeloni.com, which goes more into the real estate side of my business. So on the rest of this program, we're going to talk about questions you should be asking your real estate agent when you go to list your home, and we'll get into this depth on some of these questions. On the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, I'm your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
Welcome back to the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. New episodes each weekday, or I should say each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in addition to our weekday program where we talk with different business owners and entrepreneurs. And to learn more about the program, thatbusinessnetwork.com, and more about my real estate business, just go to jamiemeloni.com and take advantage of our free home valuation anywhere in the country at thathomevaluation.com. So in that last segment, we're talking about the bait and switch technique of the guaranteed home sale. Avoid that. Avoid realtors that practice that technique, because it's a deceptive marketing technique, and you really want somebody who uses deceptive marketing techniques to represent you in the sale of your home. That's up to you. Only you can answer that question. So what should you ask a real estate agent when they come to list your home? Question one, ask them about their experience and ask them about their education. It's common knowledge that it's not difficult to get a real estate license. So in terms of education, whether or not they have a 4-year degree, that's up to you if you think that's good or bad. It's not a requirement of getting a real estate agent. The only requirements is that they have taken a state-approved 63-hour course in Florida. Other states it's going to be different, and passed a state exam, and also checked the background and the fingerprints passed, and then paid a few $100. They're in the real estate business, and when you come out of real estate school, you don't know a whole lot. So I recommend that you do not hire a listing agent for your home that is not ever sold a home. I don't care if it's even your friends or your family. Being a quality listing agent takes time, takes experience. Realtors who first enter into the business should work as a buyer agent before they begin working as a listing agent, and that's typically the path of a real estate agent. To get in there, start working with buyers, begin to market and develop influence in a neighborhood, and then transition over into becoming a listing agent, which is the lifeblood of a real estate agent's career. Buyer agents rarely last throughout a long career, simply representing buyers, as I explained on the last segment, due to the fact that you don't have the opportunity to earn two sides of a commission. Also because of the fact that you don't necessarily have the ability to hold buyers to you in terms of an agreement. It's very difficult to get buyers to sign buyer brokerage agreements. So buyers will run realtors around, show them homes and not buy or not be qualified. So just poor industry practices that are allowed by real estate agents to have occurred. But nonetheless, it's still advisable when you're selling a home to get a qualified agent that has got at least a few years of experience, at least got a dozen or so homes under their belt, and has come to you through some type of a referral base. Referrals are the key to any business, and we talk about this a lot on the program. If you have a referral from somebody, it's sort of like a badge of honor. It's a validation, and it also puts upon that person their word. They're vouching for this person, and so they don't want to let you down by recommending somebody who is unqualified. And so I always recommend that you talk to somebody that you trust and ask them for a quality referral for somebody that they've worked with. So that's the key to working with an agent, asking them about their experience and education. Take your people that you trust advice on referrals and for who they worked with. And of course, if you're in Tampa Bay, pick up the phone and give me a call. So jamiemeloni.com for all of my contact information. You also want to make sure that the real estate agent is acting as it's their career. Is it their full-time job? So ask them, do you work other jobs? Because if they're working a 9-to-5 job, it's going to be difficult for them to take a call when somebody calls them a sign if they're working in another job. And a lot of real estate agents do work multiple jobs because it is difficult to get established as a real estate agent. There's no income, there's no money being made unless you make a sale. And your first sale typically takes 4 to 6 months when you're brand new into the business. And so unless you have money saved and resources, many realtors, come into the business by working in another job. So it's not in your best interest to have a real estate agent that has a separate job, because they're going to be missing calls, They're going to be missing calls from you. They're not going to be representing your home properly. So be sure that you ask your agent, is this your full-time job? And be sure that you demand that the agent commits full-time and 24/7 availability to the sale of your home. Well, within reason, of course. You shouldn't say that you should call them at 2 o'clock in the morning, but if the case may arise that you need your realtor at 2 o'clock in the morning, so be it. But nonetheless, you want them to be available at all times for you. You want to make sure that they're a member of the National Association of Realtors. It's very common that they are. It's not too uncommon that they are not. The National Association of Realtors has a code of ethics that realtors are that must abide by. And also there's a distinction, and a lot of people aren't familiar with it. Once you get a real estate license, you're a real estate agent. You're not a realtor. You're a realtor once you take the code of ethics training, commit to the oath, and join your local board of realtors. So you could go and become a real estate agent and not be a realtor. A realtor is a designation that is offered by the National Association of Realtors, but it's come to signify real estate agents, the term used interchangeably. But if you are in an office where the broker is a member of the National Association of Realtors, all agents underneath of them are going to be required to be members of the National Association of Realtors. So the only situation where you're going to see a real estate agent not be a member is going to be in probably a solely owned practice, or them and maybe one other person where they refuse to join the board because of the added costs. And there are real estate agents out there who do not join the local boards because of the costs, and they're like, well, all the information's on the internet, the Zillow and Trulia, and why would I need to join the board of real estate to have access to the multiple listing service and the contracts and the different tools, which has come to signify membership into those organizations. It's, again, not very common, but you should demand that your realtor is a member of the National Association of Realtors because of the code of ethics training that comes with it. And if there is a default in the representation of yourself that you can show with good faith in the code of ethics, you can file a complaint with the local board of real estate, and they can be ejected from membership in the board of realtors. In Tampa Bay, we have a local board, the Greater Tampa Association of Realtors, commonly called GTAR. Then we become members of the Florida Association of Realtors, and then all of that also ties into the National Association of Realtors. So in the Tampa Bay market, the realtors should be members of the 3 different organizations, but it's impossible to be members of one and not the other. They make you join them all when you join the National Association of Realtors or your local real estate board. So what's the price range of most of the homes you have sold? Another question that you should ask. Homes typically are going to attract different buyers depending on the price point. $100,000 is going to attract a different buyer than a home for $1 million. And so you don't want agents who have sold primarily, $100,000 and under homes representing your $1 million home, because it's a different mindset, different marketing techniques, whole different client base. And so even if you've sold a lot of homes, stay away from realtors that have not, sold homes in your price point, because they don't have the buyer pool. And if they are going to make the move into upper caliber real estate, just be cautious. And I recommend that you work with them in conjunction with them working with a team to have the influence of that buyer market pool. Another question you might ask them: how many homes did they sell last year? An average real estate agent will sell 1 home a month, maybe 1 to 1.5 homes a month, which is not a whole lot in terms of sales, but typical commission in our marketplace would be $4,000, and 4, 12, 48, about $50,000, $60,000 of income, which is an average salary for the typical working person. So given that they manage their expenses and they don't have any abnormal debts, you can live on a home sale per month as a real estate agent. But that's a average real estate agent. You as a person selling your home should demand a above average listing agent for your home. So somebody who is at least averaging 2 to 3 home sales per month. REO agents such as myself are known for selling almost a home a day because of the volume that we do. We don't cater to the higher end of the market. We cater to the banks and the numbers and the more sales capacities of the home. But how many homes did you sell last year should be a question that you ask your real estate agent, and look for about a 2 to 3 month average. And if they tell you they sold 250 or 300, such as myself, they're probably an REO agent, or they're utilizing the team structure in which the team sells the homes and they give credit to one central agent. Another question you might ask too, are they working, in a team, or are they working as an individual? There's no fault with working in a team. I think a team is great. But, just something that you understand who is going to be doing what. You'll see a sign for somebody and you go to call the sign and then somebody else shows up at your house. I don't like that. I always like to get the person who I see on the advertisement come to my house, but it's up to you whether or not you're comfortable with that. But so if they're working in a team environment, just be sure that you know who is doing what. So we got a lot more questions to cover here when we come back from a break. Again, currently covering what you need to know or what you need to ask real estate agents when you are listing your home, how to find those quality agents in a marketplace full of so many different real estate agents that it's hard to find some quality people. And that's true in a lot of professions, especially sales, because the waters are muddied with a lot of different people. And so again, rely on your referrals, rely on programs such as this. Look for factors that are differentiating between the real estate agent and the marketplace, such as someone like myself, who gets on the the radio and now through podcasting and educates consumers, and who has a track record of sales and a track record of shows, and who speaks candidly and honestly about real estate. So happy to represent you in the sale of your home. Learn more about me at jamiemeloni.com and take advantage of our free home valuation at thathomevaluation.com. So we got a lot more when we come back from a break on the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
And we're back to the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. New episodes each Thursday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. Learn more about my real estate business at jamiemeloni.com, as well as the program at thatbusinessnetwork.com. And I'd love to represent you in the selling or buying of a home in Tampa Bay. So please get in touch with me. Over 1,600 different homes sold here in the community. So talking today about questions you should ask your real estate agent when you are going to sell a home. And it's important that you get a quality listing agent, because if you do not, you're going to suffer in terms of the value that you get on the property. So another question that you might ask is, which neighborhoods do you primarily work in? The best real estate agents are neighborhood specialists. There are realtors that will cover an entire city or a community or a county. REO agents such as myself will cover 8 counties, but that's because the banks need us to be more REO centric than centric upon getting the maximum value for any one particular property. There's just way too many properties and way too many regulations and duties to do with regard to each property to worry about maximum value of a property. That's where regular consumers come in and regular neighborhood specialists come in. So if you live in an HOA or a community that is definable, look for that neighborhood specialist. They're typically out there in large communities. When I first sold my home, before I was even in real estate, the year was 2005, and I lived in Fishhawk Ranch. I had seen a sign on like every other home in the community, Deborah Akers of Signature Realty, and I thought, well, she must know what she's doing. She's on every sign here in the neighborhood. And so when it came time for me to sell my property, I called her and I called a couple of the real estate agents, and I settled on her, and I could see why I settled on her. The first person came and they didn't have any listing presentation, or they didn't have any, facts, figures, or numbers. They just said, I think your home's worth, X, and, the market's good right now. We could probably get your home sold within, 30 days. And I said, okay, thanks. Next person came in and they gave me a valuation that I felt was pretty low. Still used statistics, but pulled upon the lower end of the price pool in a market that I knew was appreciating, in a market that I knew that I would get much more value. And so then I called Miss Akers, and she came by. She had all the homes that had sold in Fishhawk Ranch in my size range. Actually, she had them all, but she segregated out homes that were comparable to mine in terms of size and design. Looked at the sold price per square foot and took an average and took that and multiplied it by the square foot of my home. And so it said, your home is worth this. And I thought, whoa, that's like 20,000 more than what I was expecting it was worth. And so, but being a traditional seller, I'm like, I'm going to go with the agent that, is going to get me the most money for my home. But it made sense because of how she presented it. It's common for realtors to buy listings, as they say, where they'll go in there, and even though your home's probably only worth 200,000, they'll go in there and say, yeah, I can get you 220, I can get you 230, knowing that once they have you under contract and no offers are coming in, they can go back to you and ask for that price reduction. Another bait and switch technique that you should be aware of that some realtors do, and it's deceptive, but it does attract listing agreements for those realtors, because nobody wants to hear that their home is worth less than what they feel the home is worth. They want to hear that their home is worth a lot of money. So I was no different at the time, but at least, she presented me something that made sense. She showed me the average of the sold price per square foot, multiplied it by the price of my home, multiplied by the square footage of my home, and gave me a number. And I had an offer within 7 days for full price, and sold the home without a hitch. And ironically enough, she underpriced the home, because the home then sold again for $15,000 more because that person flipped the home. Now, this is in 2005 when we were in a hypermarket, a market in which real estate values increased by the day or by the week. I didn't really know I was in a hypermarket. I mean, we knew we were in a great real estate market, but hindsight's always 20/20 when you look in the past. You can't connect the dots, moving forward. You can only connect them when you looked in the past. But nonetheless, I was happy. No complaints. I had gotten more than what I had originally thought for my home. So again, she was a neighborhood specialist. She knew the market. She had a buyer pool for homes like mine. So it's very important to find realtors that are specialists in your neighborhood or in your home type when you're going to sell your home, and again, commonly referred to as neighborhood specialists. Another question you should ask, on average, how close to the asking price is the final sell price on the homes that you have sold? This is where the overpricers will reveal themselves, because if they're pricing their homes $30 and $40 and $50,000 over what the homes actually sell for, then that tells you either, number one, they're buying the listings, or two, they're just terrible negotiators with the sellers in terms of getting the price at a fair market value. You know, a good list to sales price ratio, 93 and to 103, 104%. Obviously, you can go over as much as you can go under, so it can go over 100%. But, you know, the best ones, you know, are right around, you know, getting what they price the home for. Obviously, there's going to be some negotiations, and to get a sales price equal to the ask price, it's important to sell the home within those first a couple of weeks, because after that, it typically will begin to sell under the ask price of the home. But good realtors know how to get those homes priced properly, and they know how to walk away from a home if the home is overpriced. Although most agents will not walk away from a home, even if a seller is unrealistic and wants to price a home for, you know, 20, 30, or 40,000 or more dollars over the list price, because it's still a lead generating source for a realtor. They get to put their sign up in the road, they get to have their name on a property, the neighbor next door gets to say, oh, so-and-so is listing that home, maybe I need to give them a call. So it's not common for a realtor to walk away from any listing, no matter how bad the price is on a home. But the best ones will do it because they are worried about their reputation, and they know that they don't want to spend the time marketing a home that they cannot sell. So, but just another question to ask your realtors: how close is their sales price to their the list price of the home? You want to know how they're going to market the home. Very important to get maximum value for home is maximum exposure for your home. I was talking about that at the top of the hour today, that if you go with a local mom and pop that doesn't have national or international exposure because of their localness in nature, you're going to get a lower value on the home, probably because it's not being exposed to as many buyers. The more buyers and more exposure that you have results in a higher price. That's just basic supply and demand. So be sure that it's put into the multiple listing service. Make sure that the commission is offered at an agreeable point to both sides of the transaction. Obviously, you're going to know what total commission that you're going to pay, but be sure to ask your realtor how much is going to be paid to the cooperating broker, and make sure it's at least 50%. Some sellers may demand that the buyer agent gets paid more than the listing agent. That's a very common practice in bank-owned properties. Listing agents take less because of the volume and the number of transactions that banks do, but they want to pay more to the buyer's agent, because they know when a buyer is looking in the multiple listing service, sees 10 homes for sale that fits the buyer's criteria, they're probably going to weed out one or two of those that's paying commission below the others. So the more money a seller is offering, the more attraction that they are going to get in terms of showings. A lot of buyers, or I'm sorry, a lot of sellers will also offer some type of real estate sales bonus. Again, that's up to you if you want to do that. It will attract more realtors to the home. It won't necessarily, though, entice more of a sales price or getting the price that you want, because the buyers are knowledgeable. The buyers can see the other homes that are available for sale. And so if you're trying to use a higher commission to a real estate agent to overprice your home and get them to recommend your home, there's too much information out there today. Buyers can easily go online and see what the Zillow value is, see what the comps in the neighborhoods are doing. Gone are the days of the realtors being the gatekeepers of the information. Where that technique would have worked, not so much in today's market. Again, so make sure that you understand the marketing plan for the home. Make sure you understand where the home is going to be listed. How soon after the home is listed is it going to be put into the multiple listing service? Are you going to have the home professionally photographed? Another question that you will want to ask. A lot of realtors will just take pictures with this thing right here, or their basic camera, which looks okay, but it doesn't look as good as a professional photographer. So demand that your home is photographed by a professional photographer, and that will also maximize value of the home. You'd be surprised at how often photos of a home help sell that home. So poorly presented photos will detract from the value, or detract from the showing. Demand that your home is professionally photographed. A typical home shouldn't cost a realtor more than a couple $100, and when you're paying them, $5,000, $6,000 plus dollars in commissions, depending on the price point of the home, you should demand that they have the home professionally photographed. So just another question that you want to be sure that you ask in the representation of the sale of your home. So you're currently listening to me talk about what you need to know when you sell your home. And it doesn't matter what marketplace that you're in, these questions, these talking points are relevant across multiple marketplaces. And if you're in the Tampa Bay region, I can help you get your home sold. Please contact me. JamieMeloni.com will tell you more about my real estate business. Contact form on there. Email address, Jamie, Jamie, at TampaBayRadio.com will get you in touch with me, or use our contact form at thathomevaluation.com for a free home valuation, and we'll get that to you wherever it is that you are in the country. Again, if you're in Tampa Bay, I'll take care of you. If you're in the states outside of Florida, or even outside of my neighborhoods in Tampa, we'll get you somebody through our relocation and our referral network. And as I've explained on shows before, that's a good thing, because realtors that are in those, that are taking those leads from relocation and referral networks are relying on those leads, and so they don't want to do anything to upset you. They want to give you the best service, and only the best agents get those leads. So again, a quality service that I can help provide to you by being a listener to the program, thathomevaluation.com. When we come back from the break, we'll finish up talking about questions you need to ask your listing agent when it comes time to sell your home. And you're listening to the Real Estate Edition of That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hi, Jackie Skelton from JR World Travel here. If you travel, you need a licensed professional travel consultant, not a computer. Your licensed professional consultant can get you more for your time and your money. Value for your money and experience, not marketing salesmanship. When you're sick, you call the doctor. When you need legal advice, you call an attorney. So the next time you want to go on any type of travel, call your licensed professional travel consultant who actually represents you. We specialise in group travel, family reunions, weddings, to escorting large groups or making special arrangements for the disabled. Please call 844-249-0190. We are a full-service travel consultancy offering worldwide concierge service. Air, land, sea, rivers, resorts, locally, nationally and internationally. Remember that number, 844-249-0190.
Welcome back to the real estate edition of That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Talking about questions you need to be asking your real estate agent when it comes time to sell your home to get maximum value for your property. And so we've went through a lot of different talking points, a lot of good information. Again, I'm somebody that really likes to go into a topic and explain the various areas of it, and it always ends up branching off into a couple of other topics. And so just another reason to use a real estate agent such as myself, highly knowledgeable, highly skilled, a lot of sales underneath my belt. So again, thathomevaluation.com, and I can help you out with selling a home in the Tampa Bay region. Another question to ask, how many clients are they currently representing? I mean, it's always good to know that you have a top producer, but it gets to a point of saturation, and there's going to get to a point to where you're going to be neglected. This is where a team comes into play more so, and so the teams are not going to get as saturated because they have defined roles, whereas a single agent representing the seller of your home is probably going to not be able to take as many calls or show as many properties. On average, a good regular, not talking REO agents because that's a whole separate niche business, but talking realtors that sell traditional properties in our market, 20 is probably the maximum where they can still carry out good representation, handle the showings, the follow-ups, and the marketing. When they start getting above 20, unless they have a team, it can be a challenge to represent your buyers properly. But again, every agent's different. Every agent works different hours. Could be more, could be less, but just something to be mindful of when you're talking to a real estate agent about listing your home. And so you should again also ask them and know about the resources and staff that they have. We talked earlier about asking if they are a part of a team, understanding who is doing what. Do they have a call coordinator? I tell you what, that's a great position that a realtor should have. And realtors who are successful listing agents, that's really one of the first positions that they should employ. An assistant whose one of their primary duties is call coordination, because realtors hate to pick up their phone, but buyers are still calling and utilizing the phone. The sign calls are still the number one source of getting a lot of quality leads. You'll have more coming through the internet, but they're lower quality. When somebody picks up the phone and calls off a sign in the front of the yard, that's a call the realtor should take, and so you don't want those being missed. So ask them if they have a call coordinator. Ask them if they have somebody who's going to log every single call on the property, because it's also important when you go to reduce the price of the home. Maybe it's sitting too long and it's not selling. Maybe the price isn't what you thought it was. You want to be able to go back to every single inquiry that's on that property. And if you don't have a log or registry of the calls that came in the home, you may be losing a buyer who was maybe ready, willing, and able to buy at a price that is more to their liking when you reduce the price. So again, ask them about their staff, ask them about their support, check and see if they're on a team. Again, I'm a proponent of teams. I'm also a proponent of working individually. It's up to you as a consumer as to what role that you want your realtors to be when they're selling your home. Another important thing to discuss and ask is how will you keep me updated on the progress of the home. Really, you should be having a weekly conversation with your listing agent. It's sort of like it's almost like a consulting business where you talk at least once a week. What were the developments? What were the challenges? What was some ways we may be able to adjust the marketing, or maybe we had a showing and you were home and you shouldn't have been home. And these are things that need to be discussed and should be discussed on a regular set schedule. So have that discussion with a real estate agent. How will you keep me informed? Demand at least a weekly call, weekly in-person meeting to discuss the marketing of the home to affect a much better sale. Also, you should request to see references on their home. All realtors, basically go from sale to sale, so they should have developed a large client list of properties or of sellers for these properties, and so you should give them a call just as if you are hiring them to work for you in a job, because you are hiring them to work for you in the sale of your home. Ask them for a reference list, call the people and ask to for how they represented you. Good listing agents will collect will collect reviews and have these on a central site such as a Zillow or a Trulia or a Facebook fan page. Very important really in any area of business to get those quality recommendations and those quality referrals. But I'm always leery of just going to the websites and using the ones that are supplied already by the realtors, unless they're on sites that the realtors can't control, such as Yelp. Because I'm always leery of any business that has all 5-star reviews. I actually like a mix of it. I like somebody who's, obviously leaning, towards, perfection, but I want to know that they're human and that they've screwed up and that they have answered those complaints. Really, the best companies are the ones who are responding to every type of review, whether it's good or it's bad. The bad ones that they suggest corrective actions, thanks the person for the input on the business. But when I see anybody or any business that has 55-star reviews and nothing, no 1 stars, 2, 3, or 4-star reviews, I'm always leery of that. And so, but nonetheless, talk to people in person. On the phone. Ask them to see a list of references. And so, again, it's all about hiring somebody to perform a service for you in the sale of your property. Because real estate investing, or the real estate investment that you're currently living in, is the greatest investment that many people are going to make. And so, you don't want to be leaving money on the table. And so, if I can help you again, buying or selling real estate, been in business 10 years here in the Tampa, Florida area, and over 1,600 homes sold, specializing in bank properties, but can help you with residential listings and also commercial real estate. The direction of the business is actually to go into commercial real estate more so than residential. And so I work as a part of a team, and so in conjunction with the other teammates, I will get you the best person for your job. But commercial real estate is a passion of mine that got me into real estate 10 years ago, although I had never went down that path. I was finishing my degree in finance and wanted to go into real estate, specifically commercial, and went to interview at the Coldwell Banker office in South Tampa and met my mentor in the REO space, Amanda Huggins, who turned me on to the world of REO. And while I simultaneously interviewed with the commercial banker, I saw the opportunity in the foreclosure and the REO space. And so I left commercial, sit on the sidelines while I rode the REO wave. But the REO wave is diminishing. It is dying. It's nowhere near as lucrative as it was the last several years. It's actually kind of slow, and that's why I'm able to do other things, such as work with the Tampa Bay business owners and develop the show and the podcast and talk more and more, about business ownership as I develop a whole other line of business outside of real estate. But going forward, commercial real estate will be the direction that I go. It'll also work hand in hand very well with the business network that I am a partner with at the Tampa Bay Business Owners, the thousands of people that have been on this program. And commercial real estate here in Tampa Bay is getting exciting between here and St. Petersburg. A lot of development going on, a lot of opportunity for people both in the purchase and the lease space to get some great deals, become part of downtown. Hopefully we have the stadium put over here, which will then skyrocket a lot of the values, but we'll begin to develop a whole nother feel to the downtown Tampa community. I was talking with a guest earlier this week about how Tampa is developing into a smaller apartments being offered. A developer just released plans for these small 400 or 500 square foot units. And so that market is shifting because of the millennials that are demanding a much more efficient, living space, as opposed to the McMansions and the suburbanization of our past communities. So millennials becoming to rely more and more on the urban core. If you heard the show earlier this week with Damian Lupo, you heard us talking about how the suburbanization is centered around inefficiency. It's also centered around racism, as white people left the urban core to avoid living around blacks and Hispanics. But that's not the way the millennials think. They want to be part of that urban core, which will increase efficiency. They're not so much after large space and experience or living experience. They want to get out in the community and experience, life in general. And so we'll see more and more from smaller spaces popping up, a return to urbanization in our real estate markets coming up. So a good show today. Happy to talk with you about real estate, help you out in any way with buying or selling a home. Again, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial, whether you're a bank or an asset manager that is looking to invest in multiple properties, or has or as a bank that works with a servicing portfolio and foreclosures, a lot of experience in that market, and gave birth to the whole radio and podcast that you're currently listening today, with the birth of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show back on September of 2013. But now it's That Business Show with a weekly real estate edition, and these shows air Thursday mornings, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Available on demand 24/7 at iTunes and on YouTube. So please contact me. Website jamiemeloni.com will tell you all about my real estate business. And if you're a business owner or entrepreneur and like to come on the regular That Business Show program, which airs each weekday morning at 7 a.m., go to tbsinterview.com. You can find out more about how to come onto this program. Please connect with us all across social media. We're on just about every platform. That Biz Show on Twitter, facebook.com/That Business Show. Also facebook.com/Tampa Bay REO is the real estate page, simply titled Jamie Meloni Real Estate. So we put all the real estate related topics over there. And then connect with me on LinkedIn and find us on YouTube. All the videos in high definition video are available there and on iTunes. So subscribing, liking, commenting helps the show grow. It helps the guests get more and more exposure, and it helps me reach more and more of you listeners and viewers each and every week. So again, from wherever it is that you're listening, watching, or viewing, I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to the program each and every day, or just to the real estate edition if that's all you're listening to. So again, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.